Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a break with you with Mr. Stephen Shamus.
Good to see you, my friend. What do you got on your shirt? Anything exciting today? You always have something fun on your shirt.
Yeah, it's Doctor Who. I think I got this at the Doctor Who experience in like 2016 in London.
So you understand that when you walk around with that shirt, everyone knows you're like a nerd, right? You know that, right?
Fine with that. I played football. I'm okay. I got a mini jock in me, so no one's gonna bother me. I'm a big man.
So you walk outside and you walk around in that shirt, like in public.
Yeah. When you walk, you gotta walk like you own it. Don't be scared. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
All right, what do we got this week, Alex?
More nerd stuff, of course. And again, another non-superhero day. Like we're really, this is 2 weeks in a row. It's because that's what the market dictates, you know. We're gonna talk Jedi, Jedai, Wishes and Rainbows from the Federal Reserve Bank. I love this. This is a good in my heart. One of my books. Sleeper, and not the Wildstorm Ed Brubaker book. And Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time.
Yeah, new Amazon series.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we starting with? Your favorite topic?
Yeah, Star Wars. I love it. We're gonna talk Jedi, Jedai, comma.
Yeah, what's this? Who is that? What's the story with that? And these books are very, very expensive, Alex.
So these are in the lore of Star Wars. These are the, back in, pre-Jedi Order and the Republic and everything. There was a planet that had these force wielders called the Jedi, and they essentially they worship the Force, and they worship light, dark, and balance, and they always wanted to be balanced. So, they believed in the Force, they used the Force, and if you started getting more towards the light side, they'd make you go to a dark side temple to balance out. And if they were too dark side, they'd make you go to a light side temple to kind of balance out. And they kind of had this thing. And there's a bunch of different temples on different planets that you would go and train. But at one point, something happens, and of course, like the Sith the dark side users become more powerful, and there's infighting, a civil war, and the Jedi win. And this is kind of the start of the Jedi we know now. So this is like,
so this is this the same thing as the Jedi?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's organized, part of the Republic. Alan Coruscant with a temple and being peace thing. This is like inner monk fighting way before like lightsaber Yodas and everything like that. So it's really early Jedi, force wielders.
These books are going crazy, Alex.
Yeah, crazy.
Star Wars: Dawn of the Jedi, Force Storm #1, Dark Horse Comics, February of 2012. There were 57 9.8s. It's a $350+ dollar book. It's going up and up. Yeah, Origin of the Jedi. John Ostrander and Jan Duursema story, Jan Duursema and Dan Parsons art with a Jan Duursema cover. Then there's the Gonzalo Flores 1 in 10 variant cover. There are 28 9.8s. That's about $850 book in 9.8. It's a $350 book in 9.6. The second print came out a month later, March of 2012. There's 4 9.8s. It's 150 to 175 raw,
Jeez.
Which means the 9.8 is probably 500 to 700, I would think.
That's bananas.
And then there's the Rodolfo Migliari third print, which came out a month later in April of 2012. 29 9.8s, a little bit higher pop. Those are $330 in 9.8. So these books are going crazy, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely bananas.
Okay, what's the next one, Alex? And this is crazy. This is crazy.
Wishes and Rainbows by the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston.
Yeah, what is this?
So this is a promo comic. And this promo comic was put out by the Federal Reserve to kind of it's a weird book because it starts off in black and white where there's no color, and then they slowly bring color into the world and kind of convince people that things are different, and that being different is great. So it's a comic made to kind of show kids like it's not, the world isn't in black and white. There's lots of color to it. There's a lot of different stuff. Super funny because it's a pretty hard to find promo book, because if you had to be in Boston, you had to get it from the Federal Reserve. It's nuts. And then they reprinted it in 2007, and that's hard to find. So this is an 81 in 2007, and they're both extremely hard to find. Hilarious. I wish I had one, and I will be watching them on eBay ASAP.
Okay. So Wishes and Rainbows, Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, 14 9.8s, 8
Jeez.
9.6s, came out in 1981. Yeah, I mean, they're $750 in 9.8. I mean,
Yeah.
and even in 9.6, they're actually pretty valuable books.
Just finding an original print, like that's it. That's
Yeah.
that's the hard part.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, what do we almost forgot you there, Alex. Pick of the week. I can't forget you.
I can't forget. I can't forget. Well,
Can't
we're
forget.
talking about promos, and we're talking about you know, institutions from cities. So I started thinking, because I have a bunch of these kind of promo books and stuff. And then, like, you know, one of those things that I was collecting before I left New York was the Con Edison. Con Edison had a bunch of comics made from DC about.
You talking about Con Ed, like my electric company, Con Ed?
Absolutely, Con Edison. That's it. Yes. They put a bunch of DC, they teamed with DC, and they did a bunch of comics, you know, about power and safety and just kind of how power works and everything. You know, and they're not hard to find right now. They're very easy. You can go on eBay and get them for between like $2 and $15. But at some point, these things are going to start getting harder and harder to find, because people that got these books, you're not a comic collector going to a, you know, Con Edison pop-up thing, you know, at City Hall. So to get these books, you had to like be at these events, and most of the people that are at those events aren't all comic collectors. So eventually these are going to dry up very quickly, and especially the high grade ones. So, you know, this is a perfect example. This book, I'm sure there was a bunch of them in Boston. I'm sure you could have gone to, like, you know, any elementary school, and there's stacks of them everywhere. You know, you could get them out. Libraries probably had them. But at some point, they're going to become scarce, and you're not going to be able to get them again. So, like,
Alex, I'm going to make one recommendation. Do not start hanging out in elementary schools. That'd be very creepy.
No. I don't. My degree is not in any kind of teaching in elementary school. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So don't do that. But go on eBay and find these books, because they're hard to find. That for sure.
Right. You don't want to be creeping around elementary schools.
No,
let's just put that out there.
Definitely not. Definitely.
All right. What do we got next, Alex?
Sleeper, Marvel's Sleeper.
Yeah. What is this character, Alex? What's going on there?
We got another symbiote. You know, the symbiotes, they can't be, you know, you can't forget about them. Yeah, there's so many. So this is a symbiote that was spawned from Venom. I think it's like the 8th or 9th symbiote. And they tried to keep this one kind of not to, as a young symbiote, not to merge with like a crazy person, right? Like when Carnage was first came about, he merged with a crazy person. Of course, now the Carnage symbiote's crazy. So this is a symbiote that, you know, has been around for a little while. He bonded with a couple different people. One was Dylan, Eddie Brock's son. So they were bonded for a little while. He can when he's bonded to whoever he's bonded to, he amplifies their characteristics. So, you know, if you're Spider-Man and you get bonded by Sleeper, you know, you're extra jumpy and, you know, wily, and I guess make better jokes. But, you know, it's just one of those other symbiotes that, you know, as we continue to like read Venom comics, as they continue to grow and be extremely popular, all of these characters are going to be around for a while. And with the Venom movies doing decent enough to keep pumping them out, I mean, we saw Scream, you know, we saw Carnage. All this stuff's going to start coming back up. Venom is Sony Spider-Man. Like, you know, Spider-Man and Marvel are more connected. It's Sony, they can do whatever they want with Venom.
Yeah, so these are already picking up. Venom first host number 3, November of 2018. It's about almost 5 years old already. Okay, 163 9.8s, about $180 book. Mike Costa story, Mark Bagley and Ron Lim art, Mark Bagley cover. The Dave Johnson variant edition, there's 53 9.8s. That's about $175 book. And then the second print came out the following month, December of 18, 279 9.8s. That's also about $108 book. So there's a decent pop. I guess people were specking at the time, but now, you know, with all the films and everything coming out, there's a third movie, you know, you don't know.
Yep.
All right. What are we closing with tonight, Alex? It's an Amazon series, right?
Amazon series, and probably one of the largest fantasy books of all time. The Wheel of Time. Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time.
Yeah, what is this story about?
So these are one of these like just like big fantasy books. It started as like a couple books and they became so popular that it merged to like 12 novels. It's a fantasy series with like mythology and like knights and magic. Super intricate world, lots of characters. This is one of those things that they've been trying to do in a movie and TV series for years because it's just so popular. Brandon Sanderson, who if you're a fantasy novelist or in that world of novels, is a really big guy right now in that world, in the book world. He's the one that finished these because Robert Jordan passed away. But just like crazy series, the last 3 books in the series were New York Times bestsellers, like they were on top of the list. This is just one of those series that has just been going on for so long, and it's got so many fans that like when the new book comes out, someone reads the old books and it moves and moves and moves. And now it's a TV series and people want anything they can. First prints aren't easy to find, but comics are a little bit easier.
Yeah. So anyway, these books are going crazy. Yeah. Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time by the Dable Brothers, number 0, April of 2009. That was a big imprint. What happened to Dable Brothers imprint, Alex?
Too much, too quick, and then imploded.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay. Yeah. Remember, it was a big hit at the time.
Big, yeah.
April of 2009, 10 9.8s. It's about a $600 book now. $100 plus raw. Dragon Mount, Robert Jordan and Chuck Dixon story, Chase Conley cover and art. Then there is the previews edition, which there are 7 9.8s. Can't find any 9.8s for sale. That's $100 to $120 raw, about the same as the other one. Then there's the Wheel of Time number 1, came out in April of 2009, a month later. There's 15 9.8s, and that's about a $400 book. The story is The Eye of the World, Robert Jordan and Chuck Dixon story, Chase Conley art with a Chris Conley cover. And then the variant cover B, there's 4 9.8s. It's a $20 to $25 raw book, about $150 in 9.8. So, if the Amazon series is a hit, I think you're going to start seeing these go up and up and up.
And Amazon, that studio, they're doing really well with their stuff. I mean, the Lord of the Rings were like mixed reviews, but still was very popular, made them a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. If you have any question or comments, leave them in the field below. Otherwise, we will see you all next week. Same bad time.
Same bad channel.